Hey guys, Bill here with DG Go, and I figured it might be a good time to show you guys a little bit of what goes into actually building this sort of game. Um, One of the commenters brought it up, and I thought it was a pretty good idea, so I might as well clue you guys in to seeing how this whole process works. This is just going to be a quick overview. Obviously, I'm not going to go into depth with everything, but give you a pretty general idea of how we do what we do. So first of all, when it comes to the game, you basically need to create a flat terrain, and that's what this thing is here. This world that you see, this portion, this island, this is a terrain. And once you create the terrain, you can actually go in, and you'll see in just a second. I'll have some tools pop up. You can actually go into the terrain. And I apologize, the video is going to be a little choppy here because doing a lot on the computer. And just to give you an idea, I can raise or lower this terrain over here. So if I wanted to, I could go ahead and raise it. And I'm going to change my brush size just a little bit. Zoom out. And then if I just hold down, I just change the terrain size. And in the same way, I can also, paint textures, give you an idea what that looks like. So if I wanted to paint, sand here, see, I paint sand. It's tough with the textures though because, only certain wildlife or only certain foliage grows in certain areas, grassy areas, sunlit areas, stuff like that. So it gets quite tedious building a map or building a course in this case. But so, that's sort of how you would do the actual terrain. And then say that we wanted to, let me think, like say we wanted to actually add something else to the game. So what I could do is we have our crash test dummy, that's what we call him. He's just our active player right now standing here. And basically this is his view, which you see down here in this window. So if I was to maybe go like that a little bit, you can see how it's more aligned to his actual view now. So if I wanted to add this little pine plant, I could just grab it, take it out, and drop it. So now we have a little pine plant in the game. And what I can do is actually resize this. I can rotate it. I can do a lot of different things. Alright, and then this piece itself is actually made up of like a tree and a bunch of wood that we put together and just materials. It's very complicated. It's not just a simple model. Because you got to make sure that if somebody in the game throws the disc and they hit something like this, that it's going to stop the disc or make a noise or do something along those lines. The other big part of this is I guess I can show you this. This is for one of the in-game discs. You might have seen the Octo E that we put out, and this is basically how we design the ads for the discs. We use something like Photoshop. And this is another one of the discs that is going to be in the game or is slated to be in the game. We'll see if it makes it, but we use Photoshop to sort of create the ads. And then this is the other side of it, which is the actual code to make the game work and to sort of tie it all together. And then that's about it to really put a game together. It's not easy. I don't mean to make it sound easy. It's not. It's just a lot of different technologies, to make it work. And then Discord. Discord, that's how we talk to the guys. That's how we get stuff done. That's how we manage the project. And then that's about it. And what you see here is basically the prototype of the actual game that we're building out. So if I was to click this, it would actually take us into the game. And when I say prototype, I mean that, you know, when you first build a video game, when you first code a game, it's sort of like you have to put the pieces in place to say, hey, you know, does this work? Is this fun? And then after you put those pieces in place, you need to sort of say to yourself, like, okay, now I need to do this the most performant way as possible, and that's called refactoring your code. And that can be a real fun journey. But anyway, so ideally, you know, just to give you a little preview here, the player can move their disk around, and maybe you've seen the hands that we're working on, but the hands are not implemented at this point. They can also rotate the disk, you know, switch disks in and out, 1 and 2. And that's, you know, that's pretty much where we are. Even everything that we have for our prototype, you know, kind of like what I'm showing you right now, is it's going to be different for the beta and the final release. But a lot of people have been asking about, you know, gameplay, and, you know, we want to see the disc fly and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'll show you the prototype flight. This is not something that's staying. This is just, you know, how we had the disc flying, and it doesn't look bad for prototype. This is how we had the disc flying throughout the prototype stage. So I'll give you a quick little example. I'll just toss it right there. All right, and you see it's a little jarring right now with the cameras and how they kind of snap back and forth, but that's all part of the refactoring process, and that's kind of like the fine-tuning and the user experience process that all comes, you know, towards the end of the game. But hopefully you like this little snapshot, like to try and keep you guys in the loop, let you know what we're working on, and who knows, maybe in the future we can do some more. Take it easy.